Thank you for inviting me here, and I will have a speech regarding diversity or variation, and I work as study psychologist at the university, and before that I was some plus 20 years working in different kind of companies. Okay. So this diversity should be perhaps rather than variation, but the idea is that we need all kind of different kind of people and different minds to get things done. So let's, for starters, go back to year 1981 and Los Angeles, and there is a man on the rooftop, and he's threatening that he's going to jump and make a suicide, and people are thinking that what to do about it and whom to call. And the first kind of obvious person to call is a policeman. And the policeman comes in and tries to talk with this man, but won't get him down from the window or the roof. Then the second one, chaplain or a priest, you might say. But again, the same thing, there's no success. Third attempt, psychologist. Once again, there's no success. So whom to call after this? Does anyone in the audience happen to know the correct answer? Okay, the correct answer is after these professions is the heavyweight champions of the world in boxing. So this guy, Muhammad Ali, who was at that time and before one of the, if not the most famous person on earth. So he comes there, drives with his Rolls Royce, has some lights blinking, and talks the person down. And though there were some talks about was it a organized thing, but nevertheless the person got down. And Muhammad Ali was a very, even though he said he wasn't that smart, but he was quite a smart guy. If you watch some of his trash talks, for example, from YouTube, you will notice that. And he also had a very good sense of humor. And this you might recognize this saying that float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. But he also said, if you even dream of beating me, you better wake up and apologize. So very good sense of humor and self-irony as well. Also, he said that he was never the smartest, but he was the greatest. So, and also, so he had big troubles in school, and he had dyslexia. So dyslexia means that you have troubles with words. You might have troubles reading or writing, and not only words, but you might also have some other kind of challenges related to this. We take then another one issue with mental health that people might suffer from, ADHD, and H goes for hyperactivity. So some people are both very like talkative and lively, but some people have the vividness or unrelaxing things only within their mind. And there is, you might recognize if you have watched some Harry Potter films or some other films, there's one example of a person who has ADHD. Then still one more, autism. So there's the Greta Thunberg, who is fairly or very famous climate activist. You might not, if you wouldn't know that she's got autism, think that she is, for example, very anxious about social situations because she's been having those pretty much. But of course, these are just examples, these points that I have taken here. There are very many different kind of people who have autism or dyslexia or ADHD. These are just some characters here. So summarizing these persons, when you look at these persons and think about some company or some project, I think if you had a team like this, you could like import snow to Finland, if that made sense for or was environmentally viable. So very different and creative and minds. Here's still one example of this topic. You have Richard Branson, who is very successful in business, who not only has dyslexia, but he has also set up this world's first university of dyslectic thinking. So it's not so that he thinks that's only a negative thing to have dyslexia, but it brings also many beneficial things to your thinking. So here's one example of being open about these issues. So especially in earlier times, and a bit depending on the culture, it has been a bit of taboo to have some mental health issue, and it has about that much that it's kind of secret or hidden. But in Finland, there's this company Go4 that has started, I think it was last year, publishing information on the mental health related sickness absences. So you have all kind of different statistics on absences and health related absences. So why wouldn't you have also statistics of this one? And the point was what they, the outspoken thing was that they want to lower the threshold of starting to talk about people having mental health issues and managing those. So here's some data about research. So staggering 35% of US entrepreneurs suffer from dyslexia and 20% in the UK. Anyway, it's I think not only suffer, but they also benefit to some extent. So typically mental health issues have been something that of course like people suffer from them, there's no doubt of that, but also they have been treated only as something negative and bad, that's something not to be talked about. But how about thinking that, for example, ADHD, then this is kind of the typical way of thinking, and if you Google on ADHD, for example, so you get things like this, and there's a very long list of these kind of issues. So you have carelessness and lack of attention to detail. You might have people are continually starting new tasks, not able to concentrate that well, have to keep fiddling with some tech devices or other to keep themselves focused. You might have people that are extremely impatient and very many other traits. But then if you think about what's needed in business, then if you are like, you can be a bit careless, all right? You may lost your pencils here and there, or glasses or other, but you also, this might mean that you can keep calm in very tricky situations and work in some high pressure. And then this you might see larger picture if you have the ADHD, because you have better skills for association and combining different areas. Continue starting new tasks. Well, how about multitasking, and like efficient multitasking, not like any multitasking. Then impatient, then if you are impatient yourself, you are a bit more likely to come up with ideas that are made for impatient people. And then if you think about the nowadays world, when there's all kind of Facebook and WhatsApp and TikToks and whatnot, then pretty many people are impatient. So having a diverse group of people definitely is helpful, because then you have different kind of skills. And for example, in startups, it's if it's a bit, I don't know, typical, but one not so good idea to do is that you gather people around you that are similar to yourself, or startup or project or company, because it's much more easy and you don't have to do any trouble, because you kind of ask people who you like and who is easy to talk with, who you perhaps use your spare time with you also, that, hey, let's form a team or startup or group. And then when you try to accomplish something, you notice suddenly, for example, that you have like 3 or 4 guys who are very good at, let's say, concepting and creating ideas and so forth. But then when someone should like implement these ideas, then everybody is like watching that, oh, well, yeah, but where's that person? Or then not to mention that if you then should sell your idea somewhere, then which is pretty difficult, then again, these persons who are very great at ideating and concepting, then they are looking elsewhere, that, well, this is so good idea, it will sell itself. Well, it won't, because you need some serious work there. So it's good to have different kind of people in the project team or company or whatever you are doing. And obviously also you need a very safe place where you can work, so that everyone, no matter of background or whatever characters, feel safe to speak up and don't need to think that it's okay that I'm a little bit different than the others. And this you can do with several ways, like informal and formal. And then finally, like be open, curious, and empathic. Be kind to each other, and create an atmosphere where there can be very many different kinds of minds to get something done, and also to enjoy each other's company. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You had excellent tips and great overview of issues that we are normally scared about, but actually thank you for bringing other kind of perspective to it, and also showing the role models and ideas. And we somehow have a theme here, because we started with Greta in Kai's presentation, and now you kind of continued that theme very nicely and kind of connected dots from the beginning till the start. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
We have one excellent question here, which I think it also brings a typical problem when managing diversity, equity, and inclusion. How to avoid pairing up with the same people. Any good tips? Because, you know, we like people who are looking like us, talking like us, behaving like us, right? And it's so easy to stick to the same crowd. Any good ideas or any good tips for us? How can we break the path and actually, you know, start looking for diversity in our environment and pairing up with diversity?
Okay, very good question and no simple answer there. But one is that kind of having open mind, of course, like the mindset. Then secondly, you can kind of think out that what kind of different skills are needed to do some task. And then what kind of different persons or characters you need to accomplish these skills. And then be very strict that, okay, that guy is very nice, but he's not perhaps fitting in here. And then the third one, that comes into my mind right now from doing some sports, is very kind of blunt way that okay, this is more perhaps humor, but you just simply put people in a row and count like 1, 2, 3, and then there's the group number 1 and group number 2 and group number 3. But some like actually some kind of giving possibility for it's in English, I think the word is serendipity, like happy coincidence, like trying out very creatively some odd combinations with small risk, and then changing them once it either works or won't work. But there's really no simple answer, but just to keep an open mind and be aware of this. That's the most important.
Wonderful. And as they say, naming your problem solves already 50% of the problem, right? So
yeah.
So
yeah.
in that way, we know that we are trying to stick, sort of, as you say, being open-minded, trying to find the diversity, focusing on skills. It's actually a great start. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.